Today's project will have you in knots again with a bigger variation of a bow we made a couple of weeks ago. I have a free PDF for that bow and I will put a link in the description. This project uses a variation of a technique I developed called the continuous split basic. It is an intermediate project, but I will put free prerequisite PDFs and videos in the description. Review those videos and then come back here to this video to make these bows if you are a beginner. We will be using size 11 seed beads, 24 gauge wire, and 30 gauge wire to lace in the bead color. String 46 inches of size 11 seed beads on a spool of 24 gauge copper core wire. Let's count out 40 beads. Let's move this here to the end. And now we're going to measure out 10 inches. And now we're going to do a basic frame, and let's do a 5-inch twisted wire and loop. And let's twist down just a little bit, about 1/2 inch. So with the long top basic wire, let's just coil it up and just get out of the way. Now let's do a rounded top, rounded bottom, 5 rows. This is a little bit longer than usual, so just make sure you to get the right amount of beads. Line it up next with the previous row and hold on to it bit by bit. And we want to wrap it around twice at the end of the 5th row. Just want to make sure that this is nice and secure. I have some 30 gauge wire here, and I'm just going to cut out around 3 inches or so, and then lace along the top over here and the bottom over here. You can lace along 3 times, or you can do it 2. I'm just going to do it closer to the middle, but not exactly at the middle. Then I don't have to lace 3 times. So this way I can lace twice. All right, so let's cut these here and tuck. I'm just going to take that same wire that I cut and start lacing along right here. Now let's unroll the top basic wire here, just a little bit, it's fine. Now let's turn this into the first loop. So let's fold it. And then take the top basic wire and wrap it around the base of the loop here, around the twisted wire here. So now let's take the working wire and wrap it around the top basic wire to make a new twisted wire. Now I want to go about 3/8 of an inch to 1/2 an inch. This depends on how wide you want the center to be. So if you want a wider center, then make the twisted wire to be a little bit longer. All right, I think that's a bit too much. So I'm going to undo it here. So I think I like 3/8 of an inch. So right here is good. This is where I want my twisted wire to be. But if you want a wider center, you can do a little bit more. So let's straighten out this wire here. And I'm going to undo the loop, and I want to string on 40 beads right here. And right here, again, we're doing rounded tops and rounded bottom at 5 rows. Hold on to each section bit by bit. You definitely want these rows to be nice and tight. You don't want any loose rows. Wrap twice at the base. And now let's lace the rows again. So now let's fold this and form it into the second loop. Okay, so before we do anything else, let's undo any twists in the twisted wire here. And let's cut right here. So now we have 2 wires. Now we're going to wrap the wire around the twisted wire. And like I said before, if you made a longer twisted wire, you will get a wider center. So I'm just going to wrap this here. Okay, I can probably fit in 4 wraps here. So right here, let's remove any excess beads. And then we're going to take the working wire and the inner tail wire, and let's twist this together. And you want just enough twisted wire to make 2 wraps, and that's about, for me, about 1/8 of an inch. Now let's string 40 beads onto the tail wire. So let's feed more beads onto the working wire. Now we're going to make 5 rows again, but this time with pointed tops and rounded bottoms. So let's just point it. All right, and right here at the base, you want to wrap around 2 times just to make sure that it's nice and secure. And then we're going to take the working wire and bring it to the back of the bow here. So you see that there's some wire right here that you can see. Let's flip this to the back here and hold on to the center with your fingers here very firmly. And then take the working wire and pull. Just want to pull the tail in so you don't see the wire as much. So now it's closer to the center. So this wire was the top basic wire, and this is where we want to have the second tail. So let's undo the loop for the top basic wire and string on 40 beads. Now we're going to make the second tail. Wrap it around twice. Now we're going to hold on to the center and pull it up. Let's cut the tops, bend them back. It's on the other side. Okay, so that's an easy fix. Where's the back? Oh, this one. This one needs to be twisted this way. Okay, it's still good. It's still good. It's wire, so we can do it. Oh, this is the back. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's do this. Right? Okay. Got the back and the front mixed up. But it's fine. You can fix it. All right. It's a giant mess. You gotta lace this. Okay. So again, I'm going to do it about 3/4 of the way towards the top and 3/4 of the way towards the bottom there. Well, you can lace it in 3 areas. That's up to you, but I just want to do it closer to the middle, but not exactly towards the middle, because it needs to be laced in 2 spots or 3. If you are using 24 gauge wire, you can get away with lacing twice on the tail. If you are using a 26 gauge wire, I recommend that you lace 3 times, but I definitely recommend that you use 24 gauge wire, not 26. But in a pinch, you can make it work. So now let's shape the tail, give it some movement. So just put this over your finger, bend it over your finger, and pinch this up. If you like this project and would like to learn more about French beaded flowers, you may be interested in my 2 French beading books. Bead Flora, The Revival of French Beaded Flowers. This book will walk a beginner step by step on making beaded flowers. And my second book, French Beaded Branches in Bloom. You will be exploring branching blooms using some very interesting technique gymnastics. You can find signed copies on my website or all major book retailers online. Give this video a thumbs up if you like this project, and let me know in the comments if you have any other ideas on how to use the bow. Happy beading!